Hello, I am Jan from Prague, the Czech Republic, and this is a short video about raw burst mode. And if you hate, like me, that your computer is overflowing with raw files, you will just love that function, because it can really save you a lot of energy and time. What will you see in this video? First, we will sum it up and define what is actually the raw burst mode. And then I will give you examples of it, both from inside of the camera and my computer, when you can obviously work with them as well. And just a quick note, we are using Canon R6 Mark II for this video, but you can find raw burst in many other cameras. So, what is raw burst mode? It gives you a great option. Instead of flooding your card and computer with dozens or hundreds of RAWs, you can make your camera record it into just one big file. And then you can just easily select exactly the frame you want and save it either in JPEG or RAW. And there is one more interesting thing called pre-shooting, which is able to shoot even before you fully press the shutter button. So all this is very useful not only for quick action scenes, but also for a sort of static situations. For instance, where you are just waiting patiently for the dog to turn its face towards us. So we have some examples of this very quick dog called Ivy, and obviously we can use the very traditional way. We can just shoot many RAWs or JPEGs or RAWs, because this is very complicated light. And what happens is that your card and your computer ends up filled with a lot of photos, and that function, that RAW, actually gives us a great chance to have it slightly more organized. When I turn it on, you'll see the little icon. When I just click on it, you can immediately see how it all works. You can just scroll and go there and back through that huge file, and you just get the option to select exactly the file you would like to have. You can see that that is quite big combination. I have 95 RAWs in one file. And just please do note that little tag here. It actually implies that up to here, up to that mark, the camera was recording in the pre-recording, and that's quite useful because I actually press the shutter button only here. So the camera was still taking the frames even before I started shooting. Okay, I'd like to have perhaps this one. I can just use the set button, and it gives me these options, like that I can save it as a JPEG, which I would not do in that case, of course, because that shot requires a lot of editing. So I can just push extract as RAW. And yes, of course, I'd like to save it as a new file, and if I hit OK, it just works as you would expect. You have that one dedicated RAW in your card, and you can work with this very easily at home, for instance. Let's see some more examples. We can see it here again. Very active dog. So if I just set it, we have 56 RAWs here, and we can say, for instance, I love this one, or we want some bit of action, so perhaps that would give us what we want. So again, I press set, and I would extract it as RAW, and I would work only with that small little file. Okay, and let's try something else. A white dog on white snow. She is just walking, and if you ever tried to take a picture of a dog, you know that the chance that it'll be a really perfect shot is always limited. So although that is really very easy target, I am very glad that I can just select exactly the pose of the walking dog as I want. So as you can see, again, we have 84 RAWs at our disposal, so we can select whatever we want and find a perfect option. Or we can try it here. The dog's name is Amba, and generally she does not really listen much to what people tell her. So I was very carefully waiting for the moment she finally listens to what I'm saying and turns her head towards me. It was here in that moment. And all these 16 frames were actually taken just before I pushed the button. And if you want, you can do pretty much the same in your computer. To do so, you need to download a program called Digital Photo Professional, as you can see here. I have the version 4, and well, you might not know that if you are owner of a Canon camera, you can just download it free. And just do not try to do that in Photoshop or Lightroom. It just won't work. So that software is the only option. Digital Photo Professional. If we just open a shot, you see Ivy once again, and we go here to Tools, and in Tools we need to activate something which is called Raw Burst Image Tool. Here we go. I think this is not too surprising for you. What you see here, again, basically you can see that we have that line here. Altogether we are able to work with 56 frames, which is quite nice, and it's actually very intuitive. You can just change what you see on the screen, and you can do it either by just clicking on that line, or you can use these buttons just to move ahead or back. So let's see what might be nice. Okay. Yeah, why not? We can use that very first photo, and then if you just want to export it, there are two buttons here. This one is the most important. It's, as it suggests, save current image separately. So we just push it, and yeah, this is pretty clear. If I just hit save, I'll just get that very specific file with that very specific picture saved as RAW, and I can edit it later. So this is one example. Also, you can even edit the big RAW file. You can, as the text suggests, you can just extract some specific range. And one more example, let's see the dog called Amba once more. We go to Tools, start Raw Burst Image Tool, and we can select from 39 RAWs. You can see that little mark here again, and that actually means that all that portion of the shot was recorded in pre-shooting. And well, it's actually a lot of shots. It's 16 out of 39. And again, it's very easy, and I think you should just know that workflow might work not just for the amazing action scenes, but also for just slow things like that, where you just really need to take a lot of shots when you just want to get one fantastic one. So thank you for your attention. I hope your computers won't be overflowing with RAW files anymore, and I wish you good luck. I am Jan from Prague, Czech Republic.